ng Panginoon sa Gethsemane. Ang lungkot, hindi dahil walang tao. May mga tao, pero walang kaisang loob. Walang nakakaunawa, walang nakikibahagi sa bigat ng pasanin. Kayo, ikaw, Miss or Mr. Lonely ba? Nakakaranas din ba tayo ng ganitong mga malalalim na uri ng pagkaka-isolate, ng kalungkutan kahit may mga tao sa paligid? Salamat Panginoon dahil maaari kaming matuto sa mga aralan nagmula sa buhay at mga gawa ng iyong anak na si Jesus. Sa sandaling ito, payapain niyo po kami, pagliwanagan ang isip at turuan. Maunawa-nawa namin kung ano ang mga dapat gawin kung dumarating ang ganito mga lungkot sa aming buhay o lungkot sa buhay ng aming mga kapwa. Kayo ang mangusap, magturo, let your will be done. In the name of Jesus, your Son, we pray with thanksgiving. Matthew 26:38 opens at sabi ni Jesus, "My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch with me." Ito ay bago dakpin si Jesus. Napakarami ng stress na nangyari. Araw-araw, sunod-sunod na tension with the religious authorities, with the enemies of Jesus. Pagkatapos, niyaya niya ang kanyang mga disciples to go to this garden so they could be alone and he could pray. Pero sabi niya, samahan ninyo ako, damayan niyo ako, halos ikamatay ko ang nararamdaman ko ngayong stress, lungkot, sense of isolation. Nanawa ay hindi nararanasan ng sino man sa atin, pero kung nararanasan, meron tayong mga lessons na pwedeng matutunan mula kay Jesus. One, Jesus asked for companionship. Si Jesus na yon, anak ng Diyos, all-powerful, pero sabi niya, damayan niyo ako. Kailangan ko ngayon ang kasama. Halos ikamatay ko ang dala ko ngayon na emotional baggage. Maraming kalungkutan ang lumalalim dahil ibinabaon, itinatago, sinasarili. Kaya kuminsan, nakakalungkot. May mga bigla na lang nagpapakamatay na member ng family, walang kamalay-malay yung mga kapatid, yung magulang, na gano'n na pala ang dala-dala nitong isang ito. Hindi na niya nakayanan hanggang sariling buhay ay kinitil na. Kaya dapat tayo talagang humihingi ng damay. At willing din naman tayong dumamay. And we send signals na pwede mo kong kausapin, pwede kang magsabi, pwede kang humingi ng tulong. Expressing our need for others is a good first step toward healing. Acknowledging loneliness opens the door for intervention and support. At yan ay mga policies na kinikilala ng sciences, ng mga social and medical sciences. Pagka nagpapatulong pa yung tao, pwede pang matulungan. Ang mahirap pagka nagsara na. Ayaw na magsabi, ayaw nang kumibo, lumalayo na. At isa sa mga signs nito ng mga deep depression, pinababayaan ang personal hygiene. Hindi na mahilig maligo, magsipilyo, hindi na nag-aayos. Kasi kung nag-aayos pa, nagdo-drawing pa ng kilay, malayo pa yun sa suicide. Pero kung talagang wala na siyang pakialam sa mundo, medyo makiramdam na tayo. Baka ang layo na, ang lalim na ng kanyang dinadala. Expressing the need for support is a sign of strength, not weakness. Tatandaan nyo yan. Hindi kahinaan na humingi ng tulong. Si Jesus nga sabi, samahan nyo ako. Ang bigat-bigat ng nararamdaman ko. It's a sign of strength because it signals that you want to be helped, that you want to recover. So that's a sign of strength. So, when lonely, seek company. Huwag niyong ikaila, huwag niyong i-deny, maghanap kayo ng makakasama. Communicate. Reach out. Magparamdam. At tayo namang mga hindi nalulungkot, makiramdam. Baka naman meron tayong mga kasamang may pinagdaraanan. Kasi kung minsan, sobra kang busy sa sarili mong agenda, may nagpaparamdam na, hindi pa pinapansin kasi ang tingin mo sa kanya, abala. Meron pang, gusto mo magkape? Ay, busog na ako, ikaw na lang. Yan pala kailangan lang niya na makakausap. Maging mas sensitive pa tayo. Dahil mga tao kumisan hindi naman ready, willing, and able na ipahayag ang kanilang need for company. So tayo na ang makiramdam. In 2016, we published a booklet called Great Ministry of Companionship. Dahil isa talagang malaking ministry ang companionship. Iba yung ministry ng preaching, ng teaching, kailangan mo pa ng training, kailangan mo pa maraming alam. Pero yung companionship, umupo ka lang doon kahit wala kang gawin, ministry na yun. In fact, mas wala kang gawin, mas wala kang sabihin, madalas mas helpful. Kasi pag yung tao na mga problema, may mga mabibigyan na dalahin, pag bumuka ang bibig mo, baka judgmental pa ang masabi. Baka pag magaling pa, paninisi, sabi ko na sa'yo, lalo patuloy humirap ang dala ng kapwa. So there are times when by not speaking, you speak volumes. That you accomplish more, but just being there and being quiet. To absorb whatever energies have to be absorbed para maging bukas lang na pahayagan, para kang blankong board na pwedeng sulatan ng tao kung anong gusto niyang isulat. Be available and don't always open your mouth. Just open your mind and open your heart. Hindi naman kailangan ng maraming tao ng payo pag sobrang nabibigatan. Ang kailangan lang nila may mahingahan. Hindi mo kailangan laging maging counselor para ka makatulong. Today, help seeking can include counseling, therapy apps, marami na yan, and safe online communities that encourage people to voice their needs. Bagamat kailangan maging mapanuri tayo, lalo kung social media o kaya ay multimedia o kung ano pa man na hindi personal yung ating kausap, baka mamaya nalalagay lang tayo sa lalong gulo. Kaya maging mapanuri, pero merong mga ganyang available. In case kayo masyadong isolated, walang makausap personally, marami nang available. Ecclesiastes 4:9-12, 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. So ito, dalawang tao ang inilalagay sa kwento. Mas mabuti na dalawa kaysa mag-isa. May umaalalay, may tumutulong. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Also, if two lie down together, lalo sa winter na context ng mga pinanggalingan ng verses, they will keep warm. Pagka meron kang katabi, mas may tendency makatulong kayo sa isa't isa because of your body heat that you can share together. Pero yung nag-iisa, wala siyang ibang sources of body heat. But how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. So two, better than one, pero mabuti kung tatlo. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. At ganyan yung concept ng tirintas, ganyan yung concept ng lubid, mga mahihinang sinulid, pero pag pinagsama-sama mo, nagiging napakalakas. Because we draw strength from one another. There's something magical, something very spiritual, and something very mysterious about the power of people united in thought. nakakakuha tayo ng lakas sa isa't isa. Kaya naman, kung ganyan pala kahalaga na mayroong pangalawa o pangatlo sa buhay mo, hindi lang ikaw nagsosolo, develop relationships even before you get lonely. Even you are not lonely. Isa sa mga pinakamagagandang pagtatanim sa buhay ay yung pagde-develop ng friendly relationships. Sa kapatid, sa magulang, sa kamag-anak, sa partner sa buhay, at sa mga kakilala, to develop friendships. You will never know when you will need the extra second person or the third person in your life. And when you don't know that, and when it's not happening, be the second or the third person in someone else's life. Para lagi tayong tumutulong. Kasi sa pagtulong natin, sa pagpapalakas ng iba, actually lumalakas din tayo kahit hindi natin napapansin. In other words, para mangyaring merong second o third person, pag tayo ay nag-iisa at nalulungkot at nalilito, be companionable. Kailangan, masarap kang kasama. Para kaisama, para kasamahan. Kailangan positive. Kailangan magaan. Yes, paminsan-minsan may mga dala tayong bigat at nakapagpabigat tayo sa kapwa. Pero dapat paminsan-minsan lang yun, hindi lagi. Kasi kung lagi, iiwasan na tayo. It's very basic human tendency. Anything pleasurable, you want to repeat. Anything unpleasant, you avoid repeating. So kung mayroong unpleasant companionship, you will avoid repeating that companionship. Kaya tiyakin din natin na maayos ang ating personality. Makakahalata naman tayo kung iniiwasan tayo. Kung yung mga dating malapit na sa atin, lumalayo pa, kaibigan na natin, nagiging kaaway pa, makahalata tayo, lalo kung marami. Kung mangisang-isa, baka sila yung mali. Pero pag ang dami, mag-isip-isip na tayo. We need one another. And acknowledging that, and living by that truth will already prepare you for any oncoming issues. At kung hindi man sa iyo mangyari ang issue, handa ka to be helpful. Matthew 26:40, sa pagpapatuloy ng kwento sa Gethsemane. Then he returned to his disciples and found them sleeping. Couldn't you men keep watch with me for 1 hour? Kahit ba isang oras lang, hindi nyo kayang manatiling gising. Sinabi na nga sa inyo na halos ikamatay ko itong lungkot, tapos tutulugan nyo pa ako. Kung meron sa atin dyan na nakakaramdam that you're getting abandoned, forgotten, left alone, well, you're not alone. Jesus knew that feeling. At lalo naman siyang equipped to help us because siya mismo naranasan niya yung ganong uri ng pag-iisa. When trusted systems collapse, yung mga support system natin, loneliness deepens. Kaya yung ang lungkot mo na, tapos biglang makikita mo pa na yung sarili mong pamilya, kaibigan, kabiyak, anak, ang hindi pumapansin sa'yo, hindi tumutulong, mas malaki, exponential ang paglala ng depression, ng lungkot, ng aloneness. Kaya yung pagiging magulang, anak, kapatid, asawa, kaibigan, may kaakibat yan, may kasama, may kakambal na responsibility. Dahil more is expected from us by those who are close to us. And we must be ready, willing, and able to share our energies dun sa mga nanghihina. Panahon lang naman yan hindi naman sila lagi ang mahina. Minsan ikaw. Kaya we should be in a loving relationships where such exchange of energy can happen. Now, Jesus' male disciples left him unsupported. His female followers were more consistent. Pag inobserbahan natin yan. Luke 8:1-3, Jesus traveled about from one town and village to another, proclaiming the good news of the kingdom of God. These women were helping to support them out of their own means. Walang sininggle out na masyadong mga male disciples who were doing such a thing. Mark 15:40-41, doon sa crucifixion, iniwan ng lahat ng mga male disciples itong si Jesus, except John the Beloved, who was there at the foot of the cross. Ang natirang kasama niya hanggang doon sa gilid ng bundok nang si Jesus ay ipinako. Some women were watching from a distance. In Galilee, these women had followed him and cared for his needs. Many other women who had come up with him to Jerusalem were also there. So we should learn something from these women, to not abandon Jesus or whoever is the Jesus assignment of our life today, this week, next month. May kanya-kanya lang naman tayong assignment for a while. Hindi naman permanent yun eh. Nagpapalit-palit din yan, nagkakaroon ng pagpapalit-palit ng role sa buhay. But ang mahalaga, be reliable. Especially be reliable to people who are in need. And people who are in need because they are very useful people. Titingnan din natin, ito, kailangan ko itong supportahan, kailangan ko itong tulungan, kailangan kong palakasin ng loob. Kasi actually, napaka-useful niya and helpful to many others. Now, Jesus promises supportive presence. At hindi naman nanggagaling sa vacuum yung kanyang mga pangako. Kasi naranasan niya mismo in his human earthly life yung ganitong uri ng mga abandonment. John 14:18, I will not leave you as orphans, I will come to you. Internalize what this means. I will never leave you as orphans. Hindi ko kayo iiwan na para kayong mga ulila. What does it mean to be orphaned? Walang magulang. What does it mean na walang magulang? Kasi magulang is always equated with love, with care, with unquestioning loyalty to you, with ever-presence. Kaya sabi ni Jesus, I will never leave you as orphans. Never, ever be tempted to think that you are alone because I will never leave you. Interestingly, even if you try to understand this idea in quantum mechanics, may tinatawag na quantum entanglement, which means no distance can really separate two related people or two related persons or two related energies. Kahit malayo ang distance, malayo man, malapit din pag meron kayong bond. And we have a bond with Jesus. And we have a bond with one another. Kaya dapat yung energy natin na ibibigay, na itutulong, maski physically malayo. Kasi hindi tayo pwedeng i-limit ng physical distance. Hindi lang tayo physical beings. We're also spiritual beings. May spirito tayo that transcends natural limitations, that transcends geographical distances. At dapat nating ma-develop yung ganong spirituality na pwede tayong magpalakasan sa isa't isa maski pa nga magkalayo physically. And it's a reality in most Filipino families' lives. Sa dami ng ating mga OFWs, sa dami ng mga namamasukan, kahit hindi sa ibang bansa, sa ibang lugar lang, ibang probinsya, but we draw strength from one another. At nangyayari yan kahit paggamit natin ng social media, paggamit natin ng mga kung ano-anong platforms, mga telepono, mga equipment. Pero gamitin natin yun to give energy, not to drain energy from others. Kasi kung minsan naman, cellphone lang, nakita mo yung pangalan na nagte-text, nervous ka na, talaga kulang na lang, malagutan ka ng hininga. Dahil pag nakikita mo itong pangalan na to, ibig sabihin ito, problem. Abala. May ibibigay sa aking bigat ang taong ito. So tiyakin naman natin na mostly, kahit pamisa-misa ay abala rin tayo, pero hindi lagi. Mas madalas na blessing tayo sa ating kapwa. Sa mga pag-aaral, loneliness is now classified as a serious health risk. Isa na siyang almost pandemic, silent pandemic. It is strongly linked to depression, dementia, and even cardiovascular disease. Marami pala nagkakaroon ng ganito mga uri ng ailments dahil malungkot lang. Medicine shows how emotional anguish translates into physical suffering. Masyadong related yan. Kaya maganda yung pasyente mo rin, masaya. May pinapagaling ka, cheerful man lang yung makita niya sa dingding, yung mga works of art, o kaya hindi yung mga lalong nakakanerbiyos. Surround people with cheer, with happiness, kasi nakakatulong yung emotion na yan sa pagpapagaling. Hindi yung dadalaw ka sa pasyente, tatakutin mo pa. Naku, alam mo yung kapitbahay namin, yung ganyan, 3 araw lang. Yung may mga magsasabi pa na, ayan, kasi ikaw, maninisi ka pa, imbes maging positive yung feeling. Dadalaw na rin lang tayo, maging blessing tayo. Bantayan ang bibig, huwag yung may masabi lang. Huwag mag-usap ng mga nakakanervyos, nakakatakot na nadidinig ng pasyente. Kahit comatose siya, nakakarinig daw. Hindi yung natutulog yung pasyente, mag-uusap na kayo tungkol sa mga namatay, tungkol sa mga nahirapan. Pag-uusapan niyo yung mga bayarin sa ospital habang nakahiga yung tao, bumibigat ang nararamdaman. Napakarami nating pananagutan with careless speech. Kailangan maging healing. 1 John 4:7-8, Dear friends, let us love one another. For love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. If whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love. Akala natin to know God is to know doctrines, mga high-sounding doctrines, mga Latin and Hebrew and Greek words. No, to know God is to love. Ang tunay na nakakakilala sa Diyos yung umiibig. Hindi yung sa dami ng alam, nagpatuloy na magagalitin sa kapwa, judgmental, at hindi maibigin. Nakikipag-away, nakikipagbatuhan dahil sa pagiging makadiyos. No. Whoever really knows God proves it by being loving. At pag loving ka na, kahit wala ka pang alam na kung ano-anong doktrina dyan, you know God na. Pero kahit ang dami mong alam, pero hindi ka loving, baliwala. It does not count. Luke 22:44, sa pagpapatuloy ng kwento. And being in anguish, he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat was like drops of blood falling to the ground. Ganong kalaki yung stress na pumawis ng dugo si Jesus. Jesus agonized in loneliness. Severe stress can cause hematidrosis. Napakahirap ispelin ng pangalan ng pangyayaring ito. Ibig sabihin lang, sweating in blood. Loneliness and anguish have real physical effects. Ang nangyayari sa puso, ang nararamdaman ng emosyon, translates into physical illness or wellness. Depende kung ano yung nararamdaman. So, read the body language of people. Yun daw stress. Makikita mo naman yan sa itsura. It speaks of another illness. Illness of feeling, illness of spirit, illness that is unseen. Pero kung gusto nating makatulong, read the body language. Because it will show kung ano yung tunay na nangyayari sa kanyang buhay. Loneliness is not just emotional. It can wound the body and spirit. And Jesus understands both. Yung sugat ng damdamin at sugat ng katawan, pareho niyang naramdaman, nalaman, naranasan, kaya alam na alam niya kung paano tayo tutulungan kung tayo may ganyang pinagdaraanan. Huwag na huwag mag-isip na wala kang karamay. Kasi may mga tao, at kung wala ka makitang tao, o tinutulugan ka ng mga tao, may Jesus. Yun ang i-develop natin na relationship with Jesus. Na talagang actually, practically, possibly, nakikipag-ugnayan tayo to the point na meron tayong napapakinabang na paggaling mula sa Kanya. Isa sa mga remedies and reliefs, acceptance of the fact. Katulad kay Jesus, sabi niya, ang bigat ng nararamdaman ko, kung pwede sana ko nang mainom tong laman ng cup na to. Dahil ang bigat, halos ikamatay ko, ang stress. Pero sabi niya, but at the end of the day, Father, not my will, but yours. Merong acceptance of the fact. Therapies like acceptance and commitment therapy and mindfulness-based approaches teach the value of acceptance of the fact rather than resistance. Pagka merong dapat nang tanggapin, tanggapin. Isa sa mga ibinubulong ko sa mga namamatayan, release. Release your mother or your father or your loved one. Kasi kinuha na ng Panginoon. Para ka magsimula mag-heal, accept the fact. Don't be in denial. Kasi ang in denial, nagdadalawang loob. Pag nagdadalawang loob, hati. Pag hati, paano ka gagaling? May mga mahirap tanggapin, pero kung talagang dapat nang tanggapin, tanggapin kasi yun ang simula ng paggaling. Hindi mo na pwedeng palitan. Change what you can change, yes. But accept what you cannot change. Para dumali ang ating recovery. Kaya sabi ni Jesus, sana hindi na lang ako dumanas ng ganito. Pero sana lang naman. Yan lang naman ang gusto ko. But at the end of the day, Father, let your will be done. Yung ganong surrender, pag may sinurrender ka, hindi ka na nakikipagtunggali, hindi ka na nakikipag-agawan, hindi ka na nagpapagod, hindi mo inuubos ang energy mo sa isang bagay na hindi na dapat pag-ubusan kasi fact na yun. Yun na. Ang energy mo, ubusin mo ngayon sa pag-recover, sa pagsisimula ng paggaling. So Jesus' prayer reflects this posture, moving from struggle to surrender. Sabi niya, may I not drink this cup, but let your will be done. In one sentence, kumambyo, and therefore nagawa ang pinakatama na dapat gawin. What is amazing is, nakita din dito natin yung human side of the human Jesus here. Sabi niya, kung sana lang, huwag na. Pero, after all, this is why I'm here. Let me do what I have to do. I will accept what I have to accept. Learning to let go, to trust, and to align ourselves with something greater is a modern therapeutic as well as a spiritual path. Tulad ni Jesus, meron siyang will na ayaw ko sana itong inumin yung laman ng cup na to. Of course, it's a metaphor. Ayaw niya sanang mangyari yung mga dapat mangyari. Pero sabi niya, but let your will be done. In other words, yung gusto ko at yung will nyo, obvious naman na yung will mo Ama ang greater. So I submit to the greater cause. I submit to the greater will. And when we identify and submit to the greater cause, mas madaling tanggapin ang lahat ng nangyayari at mas madaling kumuha ng energy from the Lord. Accept the pain, the loneliness. Don't deny it. What pain do you carry now? Accept the pain. Nandiyan eh. May nandaya sa atin, may nagtaksil, merong bumigo sa atin, tinulugan tayo, merong mga hindi tumupad ng usapan, maraming pain sa buhay, Pero kung lagi mong uubusin ang energy mo sa paninisi, hindi ka gagaling. Accept it. Okay, hindi ako binayaran. Ano magagawa ko? Tatatanin ko siyang pinong-pino? Luluto ko siya, hindi ko naman siya kakainin. What's the point? Nandun na yun. O nagkamali ako, nagtiwala ako, pagkakamali ko rin yun. Hindi lang yun solong pagkakamali nung nagkulang sa akin. Pagkakamali ko rin na nagtiwala ako Pananagutan ko rin yan. Of course, it doesn't absolve the wrongdoer, but at least it gets you to the point where you are ready to begin to recover. Never be in denial. Accept the fact on the ground. O kung hindi lang sana ako sumama dun sa picnic na yun, hindi ako na-aksidente. Sumama ka. Nangyari na. What's the point? So recover. Ang itatanong mo, okay, nandito ako ngayon. Ano mapapala ko na hukayin pa ng hukayin yung mga negative things, mga pagsisisi, paninisi. Ano nang inang pwede kong gawin para magsimula ako makarecover? Okay, nagtiwala ako, nagpautang, hindi ako binayaran. At talagang hindi ako mabayad-bayaran hanggang ngayon. Anong gagawin ko? Aawayin ko siya forever? O anong gagawin ko talaga? O magne-negosyo na lang uli ako, maghahanap buhay ako para magkaroon uli ako ng bagong pera. Baka umutang siya uli bukas, buti nang ready. So, ano talaga ang attitude natin sa mga nagpapalungkot? Always think of getting up above your situation. Don't dig a hole in the ground para lalo kang lumalim at mahulog. Accept the pain and the loneliness. Seek and give support. Kung ikaw nangangailangan ng support, seek it. You are strong, give it to those who are weak. It is in giving, it is in receiving that we enter the cycle of love. And it is in the cycle of love where we recover. Matthew 26:39, My Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me. Yan ang sabi ni Jesus. Yet, not as I will, but as you will. Hindi ang kalooban ko, kundi ang kalooban nyo. Ina-express ko lang naman yung kalooban ko. Kahit sa mga anak, mga magulang, meron kayong gustong i-express, hindi kayo agree, pero yun ang magulang at yun ang kailangang masunod because of the given situation, you may express your disagreement. But at the end of the sentence, sabihin mo, not my will, but yours. Jesus prayed in surrender. And it is in surrender where mostly victory becomes available. Pag may gera, paano nawawakasan ang isang gera? Lalo kung napakalakas ng iyong kalaban, only in surrender. Kaya yung mga matitino, matatalino ng mga general, matatalino ng mga heads of state, they know when to surrender, even at war. Para wag nang lumala ang damage. And then, mag-ipot ka na lang uli ng lakas, recover, and then chart your victory another day. But there is a day when you simply have to surrender because that is the safest and that is the least destructive course to take. Kailangan pinag-iisipan natin yan. Hindi tayo laging emosyonal, kundi marami tayong katalinuhan na ina-apply sa paggawa ng decision. Surrender and acceptance reduce inner conflict and lower stress. Kahit sa argumento, nakikipag-away ka sa asawa mo, nag-away-away kayo magkakapatid, madalas yung kapayapaan, katahimikan happens only when one surrenders. But a surrendering today doesn't mean a surrendering of forever. Sabi nga ni Mao Zedong, 1 step backward, 2 steps forward. There are times when you simply have to step backward to gather your energy so that tomorrow you can step 2. You can take 2 steps. Pero be wise to know when to surrender, when to step back, para ka makarecover. In Jesus' surrender, loneliness becomes communion. aligning with the Father's will. Imagine ang lungkot-lungkot ni Jesus, pero yung lungkot niya, isinurrender niya sa Father, therefore naging one siya with the Father imbes of against the Father. Pag kayo malungkot, pag tayo may mga stress, may mga depression, what do we do with it? Do we surrender it to the higher will, like to the will of God? Do we surrender it to the higher power, like, for instance, corporate power, or civic power, or family structures? Marunong tayo dapat mag-surrender para magkaroon ng peace. Hindi pwedeng laging giyera. Minsan ang kalungkutan ay nagiging daan tungo sa mas malalim na panalangin at ugnayan sa Ama, na kung hindi ka nalungkot, hindi ka sana nakarating sa ganung level of prayer. Mula sa pag-resist, patungo sa trust and surrender. Remember, you don't just trust and surrender to just anybody. Yung may mga proven track record. Katulad ng Diyos. And katulad ng mga magulang natin, ng mga elders natin sa family, they are not perfect. Lagi silang kumisan may mistake. Pero yung track record nila, siguro above 95% naman na talagang na-proven na para sa kabutihan mo, tama ang mga desisyon. That's when you surrender. Kasi kung hindi ka magsusurrender, what will happen? You will go to war? Will you achieve peace? Will you achieve wellness in that kind of climate? After surrender, Luke 22:43 is very interesting. An angel from heaven appeared to him and strengthened him. Of course, the first reading is, this angel is a real, physical, personal angel. But if you want to read many layers of meaning into this comfort that Jesus received, you can read it philosophically, that the angel could symbolize embodiment of inner courage. That when Jesus surrendered to the will of the Father, he rediscovered that inner courage that strengthened him. Na nakita niya na yes, yan ang tamang gawin, mag-surrender sa Father's will, and therefore now, I am stronger, I recover. This angel of recovery came along with enlightenment, along with surrender. It could be read philosophically. It could also be read psychologically. The mind's resilience was rediscovered. Alam niyo, pagka nagkakaroon tayo ng realization, there are even chemical things, processes that happens in the brain that suddenly give us strength. Endorphins, adrenaline, these are released into our blood system, giving us fresh energy. So if you like to read from a psychological and a clinical point of view, such a surrender, such a metamorphosis, such a change of mind could alter us chemically to the point that it seems like an angel came to strengthen us. And yet it could also be read in a quantum way, that a wave of unseen energy collapsed into a form that was useful to the person. Maraming hiwaga ang pagbabasa ng Scripture. At yung literal reading is only one of the very, very powerful ways to read. Pero huwag natin i-deprive ang sarili natin ng philosophical, psychological, even quantum reading. Kasi parang kakanin yan, parang sapin-sapin, maraming layers of the same thing, pero pwedeng ma-appreciate from many levels. And as we grow spiritually, as we mature, we must appreciate other ways of interpreting, of reading, and applying old proven truths. So this heaven's angel may not always have wings, but it comes as strength from the heart. Very poetic. But it cannot be so wrong to read it that way. Kasi lahat yan applicable. Ang ending, strength. Ano man ang kahulugan ng channel na dinaanan ng strength. In modern insight, this angel, this support often arrives in unexpected forms today. A hotline volunteer, a peer support group, a neighborhood or an association or counseling group, or a neighbor, a person, and even digital mental health companions. These could be angels God still sends in our age. So huwag nyo laging hanapin yung anghel na may pakpak. Dapat marunong tayong magbasa, uy, ikaw ang angel. Tulad ng katabi nyo kuminsan, no? Ikaw ang angel. Fallen ba o flying, bahala na kayo. Pero maraming format yan. God provides unseen companions in loneliness, especially coming from one's mind, heart, and inner strength. Basahin sa maraming paraan para ma-appreciate natin ang ganda ng mga salitang ito. Sometimes that angel is a quiet, inner voice. We don't always have to find another person to speak, because the best friend that can speak to us is our own heart. When we think sincerely, honestly, and without personal agenda. Napakasarap kausap ang sarili. Basta hindi yung mapagpanggap at hindi yung mapag-deceive na sarili ang kakausapin natin. Yung honest na sarili, that could also be a form of angel. Importante. Napakahalaga. The angel from on high, the angel from within can help.
Lonely, I'm Mr. Lonely.
Kayo ba yan, Miss or Mr. Lonely? Sinong umabot dyan kay Bobby Benton? Pero siyempre, yan ay totoo pa rin ngayon, kahit sa mga makabagong awit. I'm so sick of being so lonely. Nawa wala sa atin na ganyan ngayon. Pero kung meron, nandiyan si Jesus, nauna na. At itinuturo sa atin ngayon kung paano to i-handle. Admit it, accept it, don't deny it, but surrender it to God. Surrender to God's will, to God's wisdom, and do the right thing. Accept what must be accepted, change what can be changed, and then move on. Psalm 25:16. Turn to me and be gracious to me, for I am lonely and afflicted. If this is your prayer, you know what to do. Seek help. Seek companionship. Surrender to God's will. Open yourself up. Huwag sarilinin. Huwag magkulong. Huwag solohin. When lonely, turn to Jesus. At kayo ang kailangan humanap ng paraan how to do that. How to methodize this sentence, turn to Jesus. Kayo lang ang makaka-interpret yan sa buhay niyo kung paano niyo to gagawin. But more easily, meron namang turn to family and friends. Kaya ang mahalaga, to the lonely, be family, and be a friend. Panapanahon lang tayo. Pag kayo ang strong ngayon, magpalakas ng kapwa. Draw comfort from your angel from heaven, and from the angel in your family, from the angel right in your own heart. Salamat, Panginoon, dahil kayo karamay namin. Katulong, kasama. Kasama niyo kami at kasama namin kayo sa lahat ng pinagdaraanan namin. Ipaunawa niyo sa amin ito ng malalim, mataas, malawak, para hindi kami madaya na mag-isip kahit kailan na nag-iisa kami. Kayo ang lagi naming kasama. At sa mga panahon na kami ay malakas, kami naman na maging lakas ng kapwa. Kami naman ang maging mapagbigay, matulungin. At nang sa ganon, kami will draw strength from one another, especially from you. Magbulay-bulay tayo ngayon sumandali sa may mga struggle, mga in denial, mga ayaw tanggapin sa buhay ng mga stress, hirap, lungkot. In silence, surrender them all to God now. At ipanalangin din natin kung meron tayong alam o hindi alam ng mga taong malapit sa atin na nangangailangan ng angel, ng tulong. And this